Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. Get ready because we're diving into the absolute coolest corner of the aquarium world, nano aquascaping. We're going to be unpacking some seriously fascinating field notes from a fellow aquarist's recent trip to their local fish store. This little trip led to a captivating tiny fish discovery. We're going to break down their observations step by step, jumping right into the biology, the unique challenges, and ultimately a real-life retail mystery surrounding one very specific, very tiny fish.
Now, to really appreciate our main subject today, you've kind of got to understand the aquarist's background first. As they put it in their notes, many moons ago we explored tetras, but with limited success in keeping them. I love this quote because it's such a great framing for what we're talking about today. It establishes right out of the gate that, hey, even experienced hobbyists face major hurdles with these tiny schooling fish. Our author actually mentions they were tossing around the idea of exploring these fish again, maybe even trying to breed them, despite those past limitations. You know, this ongoing challenge sets the stage just perfectly for the remarkable little creature they ended up stumbling upon.
Section 1. Meet the spotted blue-eye. Okay, let's dive right into this. So, taxonomy in the aquarium trade, it can be absolutely mind-boggling. And this fish is the perfect example of that. Scientifically speaking, this little guy is known as the Spotted Blue-Eye Rainbowfish, or if we want to get fancy, Pseudomugil gertrudae. But, and here's the kicker, when the author found them at the store, they were labeled with a super generic trite name, spotted-furcata. This happens literally all the time in the hobby. Stores love to use broader, catchier names to sell fish. So if you're ever looking to track down this exact species for your own setup, you absolutely have to keep both that proper scientific name and the common generic label in your back pocket.
Section 2. Traits of the tiny fish.
The visual traits of the spotted blue-eye are just stunning. Well, that is, when you can actually get close enough to see them. In fact, the author literally had to bust out a macro camera lens to truly capture what these fish look like. They feature these strikingly bright blue eyes, which, no surprise, gives them their name, alongside these beautifully intricate spotted fins. And on top of all that, they've got this super active schooling behavior, constantly zipping and zooming around the water column like tiny little torpedoes. But here is the critical takeaway from the notes. Because they are a true nano fish, it is incredibly difficult to appreciate that aesthetic beauty in a standard large aquarium. To really get the most out of these visual traits, they need to be kept in a smaller, heavily planted tank where their colors can just totally pop against a lush green backdrop.
Section 3. The Trade Gender Mystery. Okay, so here's where things get really interesting. There is a massive, stark contrast in sexual dimorphism for this species. When it comes to gender identification, the males and females just look completely drastically different. The male boasts these elongated, extended, massive, sail-like dorsal, anal, and pectoral fins. Honestly, they are the absolute showstoppers of the tank. The females, while on the flip side, they have a much more muted coloration and completely lack those dramatic flowing fins. And here is the plot twist. After comparing the photos they snapped at the store with images online, the author realized something strange. The entire population swimming around in that aquarium store's tanks were female. All of them.
Which leads us to a pretty massive, glaring question. Why on earth are there only females here? Think about it. If you're a retailer, you usually want to display the most eye-catching, vibrant fish possible to draw customers in, right? In this case, that would 100% be the males with those incredible sail-like fins. So why was a display tank stocked exclusively with the plainer, muted females? Well, let's see how this little observation unfolds into a truly fascinating lesson on aquarium economics. The crucial point to understand here is that this mystery isn't biological at all. It's purely economic. The author deduced that the store likely stocked only females for one very simple reason. They are significantly cheaper. Because the female fish have that muted coloration, compared to the extravagant males, their wholesale and retail values just plummet. It's actually a lot like the guppy trade, where male fish fetch a serious premium price just because of their vibrant colors and those elaborate fin shapes. So the store was almost certainly catering to a lower price point, stocking up on the more affordable females in bulk. Meanwhile, the premium males were probably either sold out, reserved for specialized buyers, or, honestly, just way too expensive for the store to stock on a regular Tuesday. It is such a cool, revealing peek behind the curtain of the exotic pet trade, don't you think?
Section 4. Future nanofish plans.
I have to say, I really love the pure honesty in the author's conclusion here. They basically noted, not really for now, unless I have a better fish room setup and am willing to indulge and dedicate myself to this. I mean, despite having that awesome upgraded macro camera on hand and despite totally falling in love with their bright blue eyes and that frantic schooling behavior, the author actually recognizes their own current limitations. Keeping these fish successfully, especially a species that absolutely demands a dedicated, pristine, well-planted setup to truly shine, takes a huge level of commitment. It's definitely not something you just jump into on a whim. So the author made the super wise, pragmatic choice to just hold off until they actually have the proper infrastructure and, the time to dedicate to them.
And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our explainer today. But I want to leave you with this one vital question to chew on. Are you ready to dedicate a custom setup for nanofish? Look, it is so easy to walk into a pet store, see a tank full of energetic spotted-furcatas, and instantly want to bring the whole lot home. But, as we've learned through these fantastic field notes, successfully keeping them requires really understanding their scientific needs, navigating a surprisingly complex retail market, and most importantly, having the absolute right environment fully prepared beforehand. I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you a very realistic, eye-opening look into the tiny, vibrant world of nano aquascaping. Thanks so much for joining me today, and hey, keep observing those tiny details out there.